Imagine walking on a thin wire, suspended high above the ground, with nothing but your balance to keep you from falling. That's the life of Philippe Petit, a tightrope walker who dared to defy death and reach new heights. Born in 1949 in France, Philippe Petit was not your average child. His first tightrope walk at age 16 marked the beginning of a thrilling journey, one that would lead him to redefine the art of tightrope walking. Philippe lived in Rue La Place, where he could see the spires of Notre Dame. Inspired by this view, he decided to surprise the world by walking a tightrope between these iconic towers. Philippe knew that if he wanted to bring the art back into tightrope walking, he had to do it himself. Under the mentorship of Rudolf Omankowski, a legendary tightrope walker, he learned the mechanics of the act. However, he turned down a spot in Rudolf's act to strike out on his own. Philippe was not afraid of hard work. He turned down opportunities to join established troupes and circuses, choosing instead to pursue his own vision. His aim was to reinvent the art of tightrope walking, and to do so he needed full creative control. Philippe was not satisfied with the thrills of ordinary tightrope walking. He wanted to create something spectacular, something that people would remember for years to come. When he saw the construction of the World Trade Center towers, he found his next challenge. Philippe's work gave him a perfect view of the Notre Dame steeples. After 3 years of planning, he was ready to walk across the towers, a feat that would make the world take notice of his skills. On June 26, 1971, Philippe defied death between the steeples of Notre Dame. Over the course of an hour, he walked over the wire, juggling and lying down along the way. His daring act landed him in jail, but it also marked the beginning of his legacy. Despite his brief incarceration, Philippe was not deterred. He knew that to make a lasting impact, he needed to aim higher. His next target was the Sydney Harbour Bridge in Australia. In 1973, Philippe walked across the Sydney Harbour Bridge, halting traffic and drawing the attention of the public. His daring act landed him in jail again, but it also proved that he was capable of taking on bigger challenges. Next, Philippe set his sights on the World Trade Center towers. Despite his initial fear, he knew that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. With meticulous planning, he prepared for what would become his crowning achievement. Philippe's early career as a tightrope walker was grounded, quite literally, but his ambition was sky-high. His training was a reinvention of the art form, learning to balance not just on the rope, but against the wind shear and speed at great heights, preparing him for his historic New York feat. Philippe's crew had a mission that would rival any Hollywood heist. Their task? Smuggle nearly a ton of tightrope walking equipment past the tight security of the World Trade Center towers. It was a daring plan that, if discovered, would ban Philippe from the building forever. Philippe and his crew needed the perfect entry point. Their savior came in the form of Barry Greenhouse, who offered his 82nd floor office as their base. Disguised as contractors, they smuggled their gear up to the 82nd floor, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. As the city began to stir, Philippe took his first steps on the wire. For 45 minutes, he danced across the sky, performing tricks and crossing the line 8 times. His performance was cut short by authorities, but the world was left in awe. But his punishment was far from severe. Instead of jail time, he was asked to perform for children in Central Park. Philippe's daring act caught the attention of Hollywood. The 2015 film, The Walk, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt, was a tribute to Philippe's legendary feat. Philippe didn't stop at the WTC. He went on to perform daring acts over the Niagara Falls, the Eiffel Tower, and even the Grand Canyon. He calls New York home and continues to inspire people through his films The Walk and Man on Wire. Philippe's feats are more than just reinventing the art of tightrope walking. His daring acts are a celebration of life and a reminder of the endless possibilities it holds. If you liked this video, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and learn more about how we enhance history.